to my presentation on kids and screen time. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about kids and screen time and the amount that they should have, and the amount that they are getting and how it's affecting them. If kids, screen time really is affecting kids' mental and physical health, but there are definitely many ways to reduce that. So we're going to start with how much time it is suggested that kids should be getting for screen time. So for less than 18 months, it's suggested that they get no screen time unless it's for video calls. For 18 months to 2 years old, it is suggested they get 42 minutes or less of screen time, and that it's all supervised screen time. And then for those that are 2 to 4 years old, it is suggested that they have 2 hours of screen time or less, with at least 1 hour of that being supervised. And then 5 to 8 years old, it's suggested they get 3 hours or less of screen time, but all their screen time has consistent rules on the amount and when and where and what type of media they are on. Okay, and so then next here is a chart about how much screen time kids are actually getting these days. We're going to focus on the blue because that is children 5 to 7 years old, and then yellow is 8 to 11, and then red is 12 to 15. But we have the years from 2007 to 2017 here, and this is hours, so we have 5 hours of screen time, and as you can see, over 10 years, the amount of screen time kids are getting has almost doubled, which is very concerning, and it's important that people know the effects since screen time is still growing. The amount of screen time kids are getting is still growing today. Okay, so here are why screens are a problem. It affects kids' mental health and physical health, and then there are ways to reduce screens in a child's life. Okay, so first we're going to talk about mental health, the effects screen time has on kids' mental health. You'll see that mental health problems for little kids is more of cognitive development, and lots of it is just delays in their development. So a 1-year-old that was exposed to more than 4 hours of screen times, by the time they were 2 years old, they were already showing delays in social development, in problem solving, in communication, and that's just in 1 year. They already have showing delays in their life from ages 1 to 2, which is very concerning, especially if that amount of screen time continued to stay where it was or even grow. They would show even more and more developmental delays as they get older. Another concern is that screen time often creates like a tunnel vision, things for kids when they are just stuck on their devices, looking at their devices all the time. They don't see the world around them, and they're not engaging in the world around them, and it is creating a tunnel vision sort of mentality for them, and all they care about is their screens because they don't know how to engage and act in the world around them. Then next we're going to talk about concerns about physical health with the amount of screen time kids are getting. So it just creates many long-term health issues. Obesity is a health issue that is there, inadequate sleep and not enough sleep is a very big concern. Behavior problems come from too much screen time. Violence comes from too much screen time. Developmental delays in language, as we've already talked about. And when they're on screens, they're just spending less time learning. They're just on their games and on their watching movies, and it's just mind-numbing stuff, and they're not learning and developing their brain and cognitive things and their physical body as well, which leads to obesity. And then when they're not getting enough sleep, they obviously can't be as active as they wish as they should be. And then it often leads to more screens when they're just tired. And instead of that, they just need to go to bed. And on top of that, kids really do need unstructured playtime. Unstructured playtime is a great chance for kids to development with their fine motor skills, develop their communication skills, develop their just all of the skills. It's such an important thing for kids to be able to learn how to play with toys and to engage in the world around them and not just be stuck on a screen right in front of them. They need to be involved in the world around them. Okay, but there are some ways that you can help reduce screen time in your child's life. So there are 6 tips to reduce screen time, and they are: be accountable, be realistic, put handheld devices away, create phone-free zones, and go outside is such an important one. And then another thing to think about is your child's overall health. Even if you are staying at those suggested screen time amounts, your child could still be experiencing some of the negative side effects of being on screens. And if that is happening, you still need to reduce your child's screen amount even more. It's always on the side of lower than higher of screen time, and because that can really help your kids' mental health and physical health when they don't have very much screen time. And so in conclusion, it's just important to know that screens can have many different effects on a child's mental health and physical health, but it's also important to know that there are ways to reduce screen time in your child's life. And just also remember that reducing the amount of screen time your child has is going to give your child a greater chance in life and a greater chance in developing skills that they need for life. And then here are my references. Thank you.